It's a huge honour to be elected as General Secretary of our great party. Only the second woman in the history of our movement to hold that position. And with our party at the strongest it has ever been, with over 500,000 members. How amazing. I first joined the party when I joined my trade union. That was over 40 years ago now. And not long afterwards, I was elected to be ward organiser, and I was dead excited. But never in my wildest dreams did I imagine that one day I'd stand before you as your General Secretary. So thank you for electing me. I'm very, very proud. And when I was ward organiser, I was thrilled when our ward won our first seat from the Tories in many, many years. And my determination to win elections has never diminished since that date. Of course, we face many challenges, but they're challenges I believe we can overcome. And some of those challenges are internal. And as a woman who's fought sexism and misogyny my whole life, I take sexual harassment very seriously. And that's why I've personally overseen a further review of our procedures to deal with sexual harassment. There were a number of improvements before I took office, but they're still not good enough to give every member the confidence that if they face problems of sexual harassment or assault, they know they will be taken very seriously and their complaints dealt with properly. So the NEC Disputes Working Group's been working on this as well as other issues, and I hope you'll support the rule changes on this to make sure that our whole complaints process is fit for purpose. Most of us have been trade unionists our entire life, so we expect nothing less, and we will accept nothing less. And anti-Semitism too has been in the headlines for many months, and there's no point denying it's made for very hard reading. But we have made significant progress on dealing with it. We fully implemented the recommendations of the Chakrabarti report. We've appointed an in-house counsel. We've adopted a code of conduct that we're still continuing to consult on. We've set up special panels of the Disputes Committee that have cleared all the outstanding cases that have been put before the NEC. We've made recommendations on rule changes that I hope you'll support to more than double the NCC and to set clear time limits for cases to be heard. And we're now also embarking on consultation on an extensive education and training programme to ensure members truly understand the issues. There is, of course, no place for anti-Semitism anywhere in our movement or in our society, and we will always take action where it's identified. Our party is nothing if we don't stand united against oppression and in solidarity with our Jewish brothers and sisters. Equally, we recognise the most frequent complaints arise when issues of Israel and Palestine are discussed. So we must ensure our members have the tools and language to be able to debate those vitally important issues. We will not allow the voices of Palestinian people to be silenced, and members must be able to speak out about the terrible injustices that they face. But freedom of expression does not mean freedom to be anti-Semitic, and it's our responsibility to ensure members understand what is and is not acceptable. And over coming months, we will also be developing more detailed political education and training materials to help us tackle all forms of racism, including Islamophobia. Something the Tories have failed to tackle in their party, yet they dare to try to take the moral high ground. And we must never forget that the Tories are the party that has so shamefully betrayed the Windrush generation again and again and again. We're better than that. We're united by our class. We're united by our ideals. We're all striving for a fairer and more equal society, and we will not allow anyone to divide us against each other. And that's why unity is so important. We're facing a Conservative Party more divided than ever before. A Tory government that's devastating communities, that's driven 4.5 million children into poverty, 12% of our entire population living in persistent poverty. with food banks the norm. Jacob Rees-Mogg has said he thought the existence of food banks was uplifting. Well, I've got a message for him. Food banks are not uplifting. They drive us down as a society, and it's a disgrace they're needed in 21st century Britain. Tory policy has left hospitals struggling to cope, social care failing the most vulnerable in our society, millions living in substandard accommodation, an infrastructure that's collapsing. And instead of our children having a brighter future than we did, they face a very bleak world with very few opportunities. So we have got an absolute responsibility to unite to beat this callous and cruel government. And that means setting an example from the top down, all of us, whether we're senior officials, MPs, councillors, or our huge army of members on the ground. We must stand united together and united behind our leader, Jeremy Corbyn. United to fight the Tories and return a Labour government as soon as possible. I've got three key priorities for the party in the coming months: to organise, to grow and to win. We've got to organise, to mobilise our vast army of supporters to join us in campaigning. We must grow our party, keep driving membership forward every week. That not just gives us financial security, but most importantly, it strengthens that campaigning army. And our constant objective must always be to win people to our policies and our vision of what a Labour government will deliver, to win councils to transform our communities, and of course, to win a general election, the sooner the better. And this determination to organise, to grow and to win is even more important when we're faced with a Tory government that's hell-bent on gerrymandering our electoral system. With their plans both to push through boundary changes to reduce the number of constituencies and to extend voter ID at polling stations. Two moves that strike at the heart of our democracy, both designed to give them a built-in advantage. Well, they may have pushed their plans for the boundary changes into the long grass for now, because they're so absorbed in their infighting over the Brexit shambles that they've created. But with a system that we know will disproportionately affect Labour seats, it's too important for them to shelve, so we've got to be ready for it. And voter ID is just as undemocratic. There's no evidence of widespread electoral fraud, so there's no justification for this move. It's yet another Tory ploy to attack our democracy and silence oppression. We fought for the right to vote. We will not let the Tories take that right away. So as well as highlighting and challenging these underhand tactics in every way we can, we're going to run high-profile voter registration campaigns, targeting young people in particular, exposing the Tories' contempt for democracy and making sure no one is disenfranchised. And that's why Labour's community organising initiative is so important. Jeremy's vision of community organising is at last becoming a reality. Over the last 6 months, we've recruited community organisers in every region and nation. And community organising is going to be at the heart of everything we do. Completely integrated within the regions and nations and working with members and, most importantly, our CLPs, building bottom-up, member-led, people-powered organising campaigns. We're identifying leaders in every community to take those campaigns forward, building self-sustaining campaigning structures. And they're already doing incredible things. Our vibrant barnstorming events in key marginals have been attracting huge numbers. People turning up in their hundreds in places like Walsall, Glasgow, Mansfield and Hastings, attracting so many people excited by our ideas that in some towns they can't even fit into the venues and they spill out onto their streets. Fantastic stuff. And genuine community engagement is also an absolute priority. So I've made it a key objective for our regions, nations and our community organising teams. In many areas, I have to say we've neglected black and minority ethnic communities. We've taken them for granted. We've gone to them when we want our votes or their financial support. And that's not good enough. So we will significantly step up our engagement with all BAME communities. And I'm very excited to announce the new Bernie Grant Leadership Programme to be launched in the autumn. This is going to mirror the successful Jo Cox Leadership Programme for women, but will be aimed specifically at BAME members. And I've asked our regions and nations to develop similar initiatives at local level, working hand in hand with all underrepresented groups, both to engage with every part of our hugely diverse membership to build confidence to stand for office, and to make us truly representative of the communities we live and work in. But also to listen to those communities, to understand what issues matter to them most, and work with them to develop strong and vibrant campaigns around those issues, making a reality of two of our most important principles that have to drive everything we do: solidarity and collectivism. And together with our vision for a better future, this must be the glue that binds us together. And I'd just like to finish by saying a huge thank you. Thank you to every single one of our 550,000 members. You are the backbone of our party. You're out in all weathers, week in, week out, making a difference. Without our members' involvement, we're nothing. And that's why the Democracy Review that we're going to discuss today is so important. It's our members' chance for your voice to be heard. And with members like you, I know we can win. We can win for our families. We can win for our communities. We can win a Labour government that will transform the lives of so many people, with Jeremy Corbyn as our Prime Minister for the many, not the few. Have a great conference, everyone.